our class 12 the revised syllabus is completed. In the last class we have completed the syllabus. So today we will do from today we will revise the different exercise question answer, and I will ask some questions from the inside text. Okay, but before that you can tell me if you are having any doubt related to the chapter biodiversity and conservation. We will start this revision from the last chapter, as we have completed this chapter at last. So if you are having any queries related to the chapter, you can ask me. I think there was some internet issue. Okay. Srijata, do you have any queries related to this chapter, biodiversity and conservation? You have understood now all the parts? Any part you want me to discuss again from this chapter? Because we will go back all the chapters and we will discuss the different questions answers from all those chapters. So today as we starting from this chapter, that is why I am asking you from this chapter, if you are having any doubts or queries, you can ask me right now. Okay. You are typing something, ma'am. I have not completed the syllabus. Okay. Sure, Sujata. If you face any problem, you can ask me anytime. No issues. So come back. So today I will start with the exercise part of the biodiversity and conservation. So I will suggest you to open your book. Okay, open your book, which is page number 268, and open the exercise part. And we will discuss the different questions from this chapter. Okay. So first question from this chapter is, name the three important components of biodiversity. So try to answer, Srijata. You have to answer. Name the three important components of biodiversity. What are the three important components of biodiversity? They have asked. Now find it out. You can say the answer from the book, because we are just practicing right now. So what will be the answer, Srijata? First question I am repeating. What name the three important components of biodiversity? Name the three important components of biodiversity. Ecosystem, species, and genetic diversity. Yes, very good. So, at the beginning of this chapter, already we have read about these three diversity, and we can say that these are the three important components of diversity. So, right answer. So, we have got the answer of the question number 1. Now, move to the next question. What is the next question? How do ecologists estimate the total number of species present in the world? Next question is that how do ecologists estimate the total number of species present in the world? How do they? How they do this counting? As you know that the in India species diversity is quite rich, so it has taken millions of years of evolution to estimate the rich diversity in the ecosystem. And uh, you know that what are the different ways by which they have performed this. They have performed different statistical analysis. Okay, that means first many taxonomic groups, species inventors are made complete in uh, found that there is a species diversity in different species diversity in the tropical and the temperate countries, and from that we came to know that large proportion of species waiting to be discovered are in the tropics. So as we can say that we still now we cannot be able to we couldn't able to find out the all the species. Many species that are can be found in the tropical countries are not under they are not discovered till now. Okay, so biologist has made a statistical comparison in the temperate and tropical region to find out the species richness, and they have seen the in the range from 20 to 50 million. In it is the extreme, some extreme estimates, and um, ultimately they have found that more scientifically sound that estimate made by Robert May places the global species diversity is about 7 million. Right, so different type of survey, different type of statistical analysis was there, and different types of grouping the species richness of different you have to remember the area species richness. That means how in a particular area the number of species are related, how. Okay, so you have to write down all those. Okay, you have to, and how these they have cultured something, and they ultimately they got the information about the or they have estimated the total number of species present in the world. Okay, so this is a huge process. They needed to take many steps for determining the total number of species present in the world. Okay, so come to the third question. Give three hypotheses for explaining why tropics show greatest levels of species richness. Third question is, I am repeating, give three hypotheses for explaining why tropics show greatest levels of species richness. That means already we have mentioned this one many times, that species richness, that means number of species in a particular area is quite high in the tropics region and than in the temperate region. And they have asked in this particular question that what are those reasons that is explaining that why tropics show greatest levels of species region. Now this one you will try to answer. Srijata, try this answer. You have to write down this answer according to the point. That means you have to say some points. And they have asked that 3 hypotheses, that means they have mentioned the number is 3. Okay, let me tell you that so what will be the answer? 3 hypotheses for explaining why tropics show greatest levels of species richness are. That means that species diversity on earth is not uniformly distributed but shows interesting patterns. It is generally highest in the tropics and decreases towards the poles. An important explanation for this species richness of the tropics are. So now I will explain the important points which are related to the increase, that means related to the important explanation for the species richness of the tropics, which are, first point is that tropics had more evolutionary time. So what will be the first point? The first point will be tropics had more evolutionary time. They provide a relatively constant environment and they receive more solar energy, which contributes to the greater productivity. And species richness is also function of the area of a region, and the species area relationship is generally a rectangular hyperbolic function. Okay, so these are the main reasons. For this reason, this type of difference in the diversity can be found. So I am repeating it that tropics had more evolutionary time. They provide a relatively constant environment and they receive more solar energy, which contributes to greater productivity. And species richness is also the function of an area of a region. The species area relationship is generally rectangular hyperbolic function. So these are the basic idea, basic hypothesis. You can elaborate all this. Okay, you can write this answer in quite elaborate. Okay, so another thing that I am saying, if they are asking about, so these are the some reasons. If they are saying some hypothesis, so you can write down the answer like this, that ecologists and evolutionary biologists have proposed various hypotheses. Some important ones are, first one is speciation. So first hypothesis, so these were whatever I have mentioned, these were the different reasons. But if they asked about the hypothesis, so you have to write down these points also. So first hypothesis is speciation. So speciation is generally a function of time. Unlike temperature regions subjected to frequent glaciations in the past, tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years and thus had a long evolutionary time for species diversification. This is the first point, that means first hypothesis. And second one is, tropical environments, unlike the temperature ones, are less seasonal, relatively more constant and predictable. Such constant environments promote niche specialization and lead to the greater species diversity. And the third hypothesis is there is more solar energy available in the tropics, which contributes to higher productivity, thus in turn might contribute indirectly to greater diversity. Okay, so first I have mentioned the different effects or in short, but you have to write down in point wise, like in a broad type of, you have to mention the this type of three hypotheses. First one was the speciation, and the second one was the seasonal part, and the number of the species, and third one is the getting of the more solar energy. So these three hypotheses are the answer for this particular question. Now come to the next question, that is question number 4. What is the significance of the slope of regeneration in a species area relationship? They have asked us. So we have seen the species area relationship, and ultimately what we have got? We have got a slope, right? We have got a slope which is indicating the species area relationship. Now they have asked, what is the significance of the slope? Can you answer this question? Okay, so this answer also you can write down this answer from this part, species area relationship. You can read this species area relationship very carefully. You will be able to find out the answer. Okay, so I will suggest you that you read the species area relationship with diagram, and a description is also there. That means what part is indicating the what part. So this is the uh, from this you will get the answer. So from this part you have seen that ecologists have discovered that the value of z lines, you have got a z line in this slope in the range between the 0.1 to 0.2 regardless to the taxonomy group of the region, whether it is the plants in Britain, birds in California, or mollusks in New York State. The slopes of the regression line are amazingly similar. But if you analyze the species area relationship among very large areas like the entire continents, you will find that the slope of the line to be much steeper. That means z value in the range of 0.6 to 1.2. So for example, for frugivorous, that means fruit eating birds and mammals in the tropical forest of different continents, the slope is found to be 1.15. So as you can see that from this slope we can get different type of idea of the different regions and their different species. So from this we can conclude that for knowing this information, this slope is very important. Okay, and that was the main question, that what is the significance of the slope of regression in a species area relationship. Okay, so you can write down the answer in this from this part. Okay. So for today that's it. In my next class I will discuss the other questions from this chapter. So thank you for today, and bye bye.